Our goal is to do things that no other law firm has ever done before.
Our technology brings the future to you today.
We're the next era in the way legal transactions are handled.
Awesome. Okay, good. So it always takes a second to get started. I want to say thank you to Next Era Law Group for today's upload. And in today's session, what we're going to be covering is Facebook, specifically with targeting people on Facebook. So today I want to cover the audiences and targeting that we use. I want to show you how to exclude other agents from seeing your ads. And we're also going to show you how to import your database so you can target your own sphere of influence. Now, Facebook marketing is all driven about your Facebook profile. So any of the ads that you currently see are all a direct response to this tab. So if you go to your personal profile, click on About, it will show, or you are telling Facebook your name, your phone number, your age, where you went to school, all the TV shows that you like, the books, the movies. This is where they compile most of the data that they use that triggers the ads that you see. So if you and your spouse both log into the same computer under each other's Facebook account, you'll both see different ads that represent the person who are logged in. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to target people based on their demographics. Now, our group coaching members, they're going to get a Word document with all of this downloaded so that you can just copy and paste. And what I'm going to do is step by step show you how I would do the different type of targeting. Now, the type of targeting we're going to do today is I'm going to show you like a just listed, just sold, or open house approach. If you want to target people for house values, we're also going to target people who are downsizing. If you're hiring, for example, if you're a team or an office and you're looking at growing your organization, I'm going to show you how to target real estate agents. People who are relocating is a fun one. Agent-to-agent referrals is a niche, but definitely one that I know many of you could take advantage of. I want to show you how to target real estate investors as well as the people that do fix and flip style properties. This is the Word document that I want to give you. After I do, everything that I'm about to show you all starts from this page, facebook.com/ads. So right now what I want to do is I want to create a just listed targeting if I was doing just listed, sold, or open house. So the type of targeting I would do would be based on the area that my listing or transaction took place. I'm going to target people based on their age, their language. I'm going to exclude real estate agents. And only in the United States, this doesn't work in other countries, but in the United States we can also target if they're a homeowner or not, and if they're likely to move. So those are really cool features. Unfortunately, for some of my Canadian audience, that doesn't work, but for all of my American audience, it does. So I want to go to facebook.com/ads, and I'm going to create this audience in front of you so you can watch and follow along. It's going to get recorded so that you can play along step by step. So step one would be to go to facebook.com/createads. When you go to facebook.com/createads, it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. And you'll see up at the top right is two options. I'm going to move my mouse around. The first option says create an ad. The second option says create a page. If you do not have a page created, don't click create an ad. You have to actually create a business page first. So in past sessions, we've actually created a business page. So I'm not going to do that on today's call. It's pretty simple. You just fill in the blanks. It's going to ask you what's the name, what's the address, what's your logo, what's the background picture. So pretty much fill in the blanks. You just need a basic business page. Once you do, then you can come back to facebook.com/ads and you're going to click on create an ad. When you do, it's going to log into your account. Sometimes, so you could see how it was logging in there, sometimes you won't see the screen right away and you'll just see your name over on the left. You have to click on your name and then you'll see this page. So anyways, pretend you clicked on your name or it just brought you here automatically. Before we go into the ad creation, I'm just going to run down what these options are. For real estate agents, most of the time, these are the options you're going to pick. You're going to choose either traffic, engagement, video views, or lead generation. I mean, if you have an app, like a real estate app you want people to install, obviously you could use that, and maybe you have products or something, but for the most part, you guys are going to use traffic, engagement, views, and lead generation. So I'll just explain the difference quickly before we move forward. Traffic is if you're sending a person to your website. So if your main goal of the ad is to capture a person's name, phone number, and email, you're going to want to use traffic because that drives people to your website. But if you're doing an open house and you drive people to your website and your website already has all the photos, all the information, and not much of a contact capture form, then there's no sense driving people to your website because engagement is a lot cheaper. So this would be where you post something on Facebook. You know, when you go to your Facebook business page and you'll post the photos of the property and a description, and you'll hit post. Well, you can choose engagement as an option, and it will promote that posting. So this is a much cheaper option than traffic, but the difference between the two is engagement keeps them on Facebook, and you're more likely to get likes, comments, and shares. Whereas with traffic, you're more likely to get people filling in a form, giving you name, phone number, and email. But all that depends on the landing page that you're sending people to. The other option is video views. So video is very powerful in today's world, especially for real estate agents. Video views is hands down the cheapest advertising you can do. It works out to less than a penny per view for most people. And the problem with video views is if you've ever watched a video on Facebook, as soon as that video is done, it auto plays the next video. So people don't even really have the opportunity to click and engage with your content to give you their contact information. So video views is really good for branding. It is not good at all for lead generation. So that's one difference. This is definitely the future of Facebook marketing, lead generation. How this works is it basically builds a landing page directly in Facebook, and when a person clicks on your ad, it pops open with all of their information already pre-filled into the form, so they just have to hit a button and hit submit. The problem with this option at the moment is that it doesn't actually notify you when a person fills in that lead. So we're going to do a whole future call coming up where I show people how to set this up step by step, but it's a little more complicated. You have to use third-party programs to actually notify you when you get your leads. So there's a lot more setup involved. But as far as traffic or lead generation, this one is a much lower cost per conversion. So whereas traffic might be averaging like $8 to $15 per form registration, on the lead generation option, it's more like $2, $3, give or take $1 around that. So lead generation obviously is a lot cheaper of an option, but it's a lot more technical to set up. So for today's session, my goal isn't to show you this. My goal is to show you how to do the targeting and the audience building. So it doesn't really matter what option we choose. I'm just going to pick engagement. So if you're driving people to your website, you're going to pick traffic. If you're driving people to a post on your Facebook page, you're going to pick engagement. If you're doing a video, you'll choose video. For this example, I'm just going to do engagement. I'll call it test, because this is the screen that I really want to walk you through. Okay, so my first audience that we're going to create is, what is the first audience? Just listed, just sold, open house. So we're going to do based on the area, age, language, exclude agents. Okay. Okay, so scrolling down, you basically fill in the blanks. It's going to default to the country that you're in. A lot of you are in the States, so it would say United States. And what I want to do is take a look at the number. Hold on, this is really wonky. Take a look at the number up here. It says audience size, potential reach, 23 million people. Our goal is to get that between 1,100 and whatever. There's so many theories on this. I like the range of anywhere between 1,100 and like 30,000, roughly, give or take. Sometimes my audience size is 3,000, sometimes it's 15,000. I mean, each of you are going to have different numbers, but I can tell you one thing, 23 million people is way too much. So if this is just listed, it's in a particular area. So let me just say, let's pretend this is a listing that I have coming up, 653 Idlewood Court in Oshawa. So I want to choose that. So you can type in the address of your listing, And Facebook is going to put a pin on that listing, and then they do a radius of 10 miles around it. So if this was like a just listed, just sold, the people in Clarington and Ajax, they're not going to care about this North Oshawa listing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that. There's a slider, and I'm going to slide it all the way to the left, and now it's just targeting the people in and around that listing. You can do a much smaller area as well. So instead of typing in the address, you can type in the zip code in the States, or in Canada, the postal code. So I'll just type in a postal code here, L1G. So you could target just the postal code or the zip code. So unfortunately, Facebook only has the smallest option of being 1 mile. I wish you could do a half mile or even smaller, but that's a pretty good pocket. I mean, most of these houses are pretty well related in that area. So if I had a just listed, a just sold, or an open house in this area, I want to target above the map. It says everyone in this location. I want to change that to everyone who lives in this location, because those are the people that are more interested, not the people that are at a red light just checking their phone because they're bored. I want to target the people that live in that location. Facebook defaults everything to an age range of 18 to 65 plus. 65 plus means everybody, 70, 75, 80, 85. So I definitely don't want to target the 18-year-olds. I know a lot of real estate agents like to target, they're like, well, people are buying when they're 25. That may be true, but I like to do most of mine at 30, 35. I'll do 30. The reason why I want 30 is because I want people to have time to at least start paying off their education or have money saved up to buy a home. Or if they own a home, I want them to have equity in the property. So I don't mind, even though I'm a younger guy, I don't mind targeting people that are even older than me. So for this example, it's I'm just targeting the people in this area, and the audience size is 15,000 people. So that's a pretty good size. If I lived in a very multicultural area, I would say, unfortunately for me, I only speak English. So if I only speak English and I get a lead, I have to be able to speak the language. So I'm going to target people that speak English and choose English all. Now, I don't think that number is going to change much, 14,000 people. So I just removed 1,000 people that don't even speak English, where I would not even be able to help them on the phone if I even got them as a lead. Now, if you are fortunate enough to speak multiple languages, you can type in those other languages and target the people of whatever language base you want to focus on. So give or take, I'll usually use that as a filter. It just cleans up. It's 1,000 people off the radar that I would probably not be able to work as a lead anyways. Okay, so scrolling down, this is where we get into the detailed targeting. So next on my option was exclude agents. So in this Word document, I already typed out all the different ways. So you can literally just copy this, highlight the text, copy it, go back to Facebook, and there's a little option that says exclude people. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to paste all the information. I just literally hit copy paste, and there, that just removed like 4,000 people roughly. So there you go. I mean, it's not 100%. Some of those people aren't real estate agents that I just excluded, but if you're paying for your advertising, in a lot of cases, you're better off not showing other agents your ads, because they're the type who are going to click the ad, fill in fake information to just see what your response is, your canned reply. They're information gathering. So I'm going to exclude the real estate agents. Let me go back to this. Now in the United States, so this is USA only, you can actually type in homeowner or likely to move. So where you would type in homeowner or likely to move would be right here. It says include, and there's a box, and you can say likely to move or homeowner, and then choose it as an option. Unfortunately for me, because my IP address is in Canada, it's not coming up for me as an option. But if you guys are in the States, you can type in homeowner, and likely to move. And that's really going to reduce these numbers. So if your potential reach says less than 1,000, you got to remove some of this filtering, because if it says less than 1,000, what does that mean? 999 or 5? You don't know what the number is. So I would try and keep the number above 1,100. And in the States, if the likely to move and homeowner as an option works for you, that's awesome. For the rest of you, you just are going to have to go without. Okay, so that's my basic targeting. I'm roughly going to target like 10, 15,000 people usually on average when it's a just listed, just sold, or open house ad. If I'm creating that ad, if this is an area that I do marketing a lot, because this is based on one particular address. Say this is my farming area, I could save this as an audience. So I'm going to click on save, and then your name is going to be up at the top, and you can change it and say farming. Farming area, over 30, English, no agents. And the reason why you want to name it like that is so that you can choose it in the future. That's going to be a drop-down menu at the top, so you don't have to type all this out again. I'm not going to save that because obviously I'm not farming that area, but I just want to show you whenever you create an audience that you think you'll use over and over again, you definitely want to save it. Scrolling on down, the next section says placements. They always default it to recommended, which is not recommended. I definitely suggest that you edit the placements. And then it gives you a couple options. The word Facebook has an arrow to the left. I'm going to click on that, and you're going to see a drop-down menu. Now, basically, a good rule of thumb, the simple answer is leave feeds checked on and deselect everything else. So I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to deselect that. Deselect. Instagram, I'll leave turned on if it's a branding play and my photo is in the ad. If my face and photo isn't in the ad and it has nothing to do with branding, I'm not going to advertise because Instagram is terrible for traffic and conversion. So I'm going to deselect that and deselect that. Now, this is a just listed, just sold open house example. So in that case, I probably would leave the Instagram one turned on because I'm really trying to build my branding awareness in that area. The reason why I deselect the other ones is because instant articles, you just kind of pay more for it. And really, when a person comes to Facebook, where are their eyeballs? It's on the news feed. They go to the news feed, they're scrolling up and down on the news feed. That's where I want my ads to be. The right-hand column, not great. It's a lot smaller. The videos, that's just annoying people. Have you ever watched a video on Facebook and you get to a really interesting part and then it forces you to watch a video or an ad? I just skip. I just move on and don't even watch the rest of the video. Because I find it annoying, I usually turn all of those off and just leave Facebook feeds turned on. Now, if this is a just listed, just sold, or open house ad, I'm going to have an end date. So let me pick an end date. Whenever you do, it always defaults to 1 month ahead of time. So with these types of ads, just listed, just sold, and open house, I'll usually only run it, so say we're on the 6th, I'll run it for maybe a week or 2. Never much more than 2 weeks. Just listed, just sold, open house. Like, if it's an open house, obviously you can only run it until the open house. So if we had an open house on this Sunday, I would say, okay, I'm going to run it till Sunday, and then I'm going to change the time to like an hour or 2 before the open house. If it's a just listed or just sold and it's not time sensitive, then I would probably push it to be maybe 2 weeks. Now, they default it to a daily budget at $11 a day. The minimum is actually 5, and let me try 4 just to see what happens. Yeah, you can do 4. Okay, so sometimes you can change that, and sometimes they'll say it's not enough and you have to pay more for it. Anyways, the rule of thumb typically is $5 a day. So $5 a day is a pretty good average spend that you guys can do, and it will tell you your ad will run for 14 days and you'll spend no more than $70. So make sure you're cool with whatever that number is, because I saw a girl one time where she didn't put the period and it said 500. And that turned into $7,000 real quick. So you do not want to do that. I never do 5.00. Don't get into the habit of doing 5 point nothing. Just say 5, and it will add the decimal for you. So $5 a day, pretty good. Scrolling down to this section, I'm going to say for most of you, leave this. This is the easy button. You don't have to get complicated with these things. If you want, you can do split testing in the future and experiment, but for the most part, it's going to average out to being the same. So I would say leave all of this the same. Then you're going to hit continue. I'm not going to hit continue because when we hit continue, it's going to have us building the ad. And I can't build 15 different ads for you in a 1-hour call. So today, all I'm showing you is the targeting. So when you hit continue on the next screen, that's when you're going to upload your photo, you're going to add the link, you're going to add the title, the text, the description of the ad. What I'm here to show you is the targeting. So the targeting for me today was excluding the real estate agents, targeting the people in and around that particular listing with a 1-mile radius. They have to be over 30 and they have to speak English. And then they have to live in that area. Okay, so that's my example of how I would target a just listed, just sold. The next example I want to show you is house values. So in this case, we're going to target the entire city, and I'm going to add some demographics. Okay, so let me copy these demographics. Go back to Facebook. Oh, there's a question. Can you change the time frame and shorten it if the listing sells fast? 100%. So when we named this, I called it engagement test. You would name it like the property address. You'll have a dashboard of all of your ads, and can I show you? Hold on. I want to answer this question while we got it. So when you're on Facebook, wherever you are on Facebook, up in the top right is a drop-down arrow. In that drop-down arrow is going to be an option that says Manage Ads. From that section, it's going to show you a list of all of your current ads. So here's my name. I got to click on it. And then here it's going to show me a list of all of the past ads that I ran. And for you, if it ever loads, okay, it's going to show you a list of all of the ads, and none of mine are delivering. But yours will have a green button, and it will say delivering or running or whatever. And you just flip that little switch, and you can just flip it off. That's the easiest way of doing it. Okay, let me go back to the ad manager. And we are going to start from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to build an ad on house values. Okay, so facebook.com/ads is where I want to go. Facebook.com/ads. I'm going to click create an ad. And now I'm going to do house value targeting, which is basically going to be the same targeting I just did, only on a bigger scale. Because the first ad was targeting just around that listing. Now I'm going to target the entire city. Okay, so I'm going to start over. Okay, so I'm going to do, if it's a house value ad, you're probably driving people to your house value form. So you're going to want to use traffic or lead generation. But if you're not getting notified about the leads, then just do traffic. I would say 90% of you will just do traffic. You would call it house value ads. I'm calling mine house value ads test. Okay, so starting from the top, I'm going to scroll down. Now, I'm going to target everybody just in my city, Oshawa, Ontario. Now, when I type in the name of your city and you choose it, it's going to add a radius of 25 miles. I want to change that to current city only. Okay, I'm also going to say people who live in this location. So now I'm watching the numbers on the right. I'm at 130,000 people. That's a lot of people. So because this is a house value ad, I'm going to change the age to not be 30. I'm going to either make it 35 or even 40. For higher numbers, I'm going to say 35 because that will keep this number higher. We're at 73,000 people. The reason why I did 35 is because I'm targeting house value ads, so I want people to have already bought a home. Let me just see the difference in 40-year-olds. So we removed 13,000 people. Okay, I'll keep it at 40. English, my listing presentation is a lot stronger when I can speak in English. So now it's down to 59,000 people. I'm going to exclude the real estate agents, so I'm going to click on Exclude, and then I'm going to go to the Word document, and I'm going to copy all of this. Now, you'll notice I have this one part in bold. It says school. OREA Real Estate College, that's an Ontario thing. But if you're in another part of the United States, obviously you're going to want to type in the name of the school in your area that people get their real estate license from. But the rest of it is pretty much similar. And here's how it works. I'm targeting everybody who's interested in Mike Ferry, Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, Inman News, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Brian Buffini and Company. I mean, anybody who's interested in those guys, pretty much real estate agents. National Women's Council of Realtors, Realtor Magazine, Top Producer, Active Rain. All of these are things that only real estate agents primarily would like. Then I can target people based on where they go to school, so I just defaulted to my local school. And then employers. So if they're employed by any of the real estate companies, I'm excluding them. And I'm also excluding people based on job title. So if they say on their Facebook profile that they're a real estate broker, a real estate sales agent, a realtor agent, a real estate agent broker, a broker realtor, and there's like a million different ways of saying that they sell real estate, I typed it all out for you. So all you have to do is just highlight all this, copy and paste, and you might want to add your school. I'm going to highlight all that. Go back to Facebook and go to the Exclude section, click, and then right-click, paste. Okay, so now we're down to 43,000 people, which is fine. So I could run an ad targeting those 43,000 people, but let me just see if I can narrow it down a little bit more. I want to go and say I want to target people who are engaged, separated, divorced, and widowed. So under detailed targeting, I'm going to include, I'm going to click in here. I don't want that. Hold on. I think I have to copy one at a time. So when I type in engaged, look to the far right. It says interest, relationship status, interest, behaviors. I'm going to target the relationship status one. So engaged, relationship status. So we're fewer than 1,000 people, so I got to add more people. So let's see how many people in Oshawa are separated. Type in separated, and I'm going to choose relationship status. So we got 1,100 people. Now I'm going to pick how many of them are divorced. Relationship status. So we just added 200 more people. And widowed. I don't actually use this one. I think it's kind of grimy. I don't know. But anyways, if you wanted to, you could also target people who are widowed. I'm not going to do that. Okay, and then for my American friends, don't forget, let me go back, you can also type in homeowner and likely to move. So I can't do that, but if I could, I would type it in right there. And that gives me a pretty small number of 1,300 people. So, hey, you know what? Of the 50,000 people that I was targeting before, if I had a limited budget of $5 a day, I'm probably not going to reach them all. But you know what? With $5 a day, I have a way higher chance of reaching these 1,300 people. So I'm going to run an ad about house values, targeting them for a 2-week period. So I would scroll down. I would save this audience. So this one I would call house values. or whatever you want to name this audience so that you know what it is. So you would hit save. I'm going to hit cancel. And then scrolling down again, the edit the placements. So with this one, this isn't much of a branding approach, so I'm going to deselect Instagram, audience network off. Facebook, there's an arrow to the left. I'm going to check that, and then I'm going to deselect everything except feeds. So feeds, leave on, and then deselect this, deselect that. Facebook is going to run this ad for a 1-month period. If you just leave run my ad continuously, they're going to charge you $20 a day until your credit card is maxed. So you always want to have an end date. So I'm going to do an end date. And for this type of ad, I want to let it run for, okay, we're on the 6th. Maybe I'll do 3 weeks. And I probably would spend $20 a day. And I can almost guarantee I would get leads because, I mean, of all the people who are moving in Oshawa, it's probably the ones that are 40 and over and engaged. And I mean, the separated and divorced, they've got complicated situations. So it's a pretty ideal audience size. But you wouldn't want to hammer these people over the head all the time because they would get so sick and tired of seeing the same ad. So on occasion, I would actually remove, scrolling back up, I would actually remove all of this. So let me just remove. And now we're at 42,000 people. So in 3 weeks or 2 weeks when my ad ends, I could come in here, create a new ad, and only this time I'll target everybody. So there's a lot of playing with it. You got to just do some testing, but try not to hit the same audience all the time with the same message. Okay, so that's basically how I would target the house values. Scrolling down, I want to show you how to target based on your database. All right, this is pretty cool. Based on your database. So let me go to facebook.com/ads. So there's 2 ways to doing this. I'll show you the first way. If you've never done it before, this is going to be the easiest way, and then I'll show you the slightly more complicated way, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so if you've never created an audience based on your database, you have to log into your database, whether it be Top Producer, iExact, eEdge, Market Leader. There's like a million of them out there. Whatever one you're using, they all have the option where you can export your database. So here's a database. I exported it. The higher the number, the better. So if you've only got a couple hundred people in your database, probably not going to work too well. Definitely the higher the better. 600, 800, a couple thousand is awesome. But if you're around 600, 800, you'll be okay. If you're anywhere under 300, you can still do it, but it's not going to work out too good for you. So however you export your database, it's usually going to look like this, where it has their first name, their phone number, their email. You just have to export it into Excel so you have it. Once you have that exported, then you're going to head on over to Facebook. So I'm going to go facebook.com/ads. That brings me to this page right here. Up at the top right, you'll have the create ad option. So you're going to click on that. There's a question, I have not uploaded my database to Facebook. Is it difficult? It is so easy. So easy. I'm going to do it right now, and we'll do it in less than 2 minutes. So I'm going to start over. Okay, now, if I was targeting my database, what would I target my database with? Maybe a client appreciation event, maybe a just listed, a just sold, maybe an announcement like I'm growing my team or something like that. So if I was doing something like that, I would probably do an engagement ad because I would post the content on my business page first and then boost it. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So I'm just going to choose engagement. And I'll call it engagement test. Okay. Starting from the very top, look at this option right here. If I scroll down, it says custom audience. It's the very first option. I skipped it purposely on the other demos, but I want to show you custom audience. You just click this button right here. It says create new. So I want to create a new custom audience, and you're going to choose a custom audience, the first option. Then you're going to choose customer file, and then I'm going to choose copy and paste the data. It opens up this window, and you can either directly upload the Excel file, but you have to save it as a CSV, and a lot of people that just, you don't even know what I'm saying. So the easier option is just click copy and paste. You're going to go to your Excel file, click on the column with all of the emails, right click and copy all of that data. You're going to go back to Facebook, you're going to click, right click, paste, and just leave if it says email at the top, just leave it, because if you try and delete it, it deletes them all. So that's fine, just leave it. I'm going to right click and paste again. Now you're going to want to name this, so I would call it my database. I want to call it my database test, because these are actually fake names, emails, and phone numbers, so it's actually not going to work. But anyways, I want to click, you're going to name it whatever it is, so your database, and hit next. And then because all of these are emails, you have to match it accordingly. So there's a drop down on the right, and you're going to want to choose email. You could also copy and paste all of your database's phone numbers, and then you would choose phone number. Those are the two easiest, most popular ways that you can build an audience from your database. And obviously you can see the other options if you want to target people based on just your city, their name, whatever. But for the most part, you guys are going to do email or phone number. So I'm going to do email. And then you're going to hit upload and create. Now, I don't want to actually upload and create this, but I'm going to hit, okay, I'll hit it. Upload and create. Okay, so it's uploading all of these, and it's going to give me an error report because these are all fake. But for you, you guys are using real emails. So when you do your copy and paste and hit the upload button, say you load 1,000 emails. I bet 600 of them are going to actually work. So 600, it's about 60%, roughly. 60% of your database will actually log into Facebook with that email as their username. And so if that's the case, you can create an ad targeting just your database instead of targeting everybody in your city. Okay, so I want to hit done. So I'm targeting my database. Right now, the estimate isn't showing because it's creating. But if I used an audience that I've already created, let's say right underneath, or right where you clicked the create new and you uploaded all the emails, once you've done that, you've named it. Once it's named, you can just search for it in here. So these are my real lists. So here I target, what's the main one? Sales reps. So I have in my own personal database 46,900 people from my database actually log into Facebook using that email. I've got a bigger email list, but only 46,000 of them actually log in. So you can have different lists. You can have a list of your buyers, and you can have another list of your sellers, and you can have a list of your entire database. So you can break it down depending how you want. And when you do, going forward, you'll just choose it. So the first time around, you're going to click create new and then do the steps that we just did. After that, you don't have to do that every time. You just click in the search button and you can search whatever you named it and it will be there. Okay? Now, I said there's two ways for us to skin this cat. Before I show you the other way of creating a list, because we can also edit this list. Say you want to add emails in the future, or say you want to remove people in the future. How do you do that? I want to show you how to do that, but first, I want to finish this targeting. I'm targeting everybody based on their email database, and it's already defaulted to just my country, so it's going to say United States for my Americans. Oh, happy 4th of July this week, by the way. And anyways, so I'm going to target my city, Oshawa, and I'll keep the radius around it. Now, the reason why I'm keeping my city is because a lot of my database, maybe they moved to another part of the country. Well, I don't have to remarket to them. They're probably not buying or selling in my city anymore. So just because they're on my database doesn't mean I'm not going to include the city. The rest of the information I leave open. Their age, I leave it. English language, all that other stuff, I leave that. When you're targeting your database, there's two options. The first one is your database. The second option is the city that you're in. And I usually do the radius around it because some of my people in my database have relocated out east or west or north. So yeah. Okay, the second way of creating an email list is I'm going to go to Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to go to Facebook. Up at the top right is a drop-down arrow. If I click on Manage Ads, there's an option that says Manage Ads. I'm going to click up here. So when you go Manage Ads, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this, hopefully. Up at the top left is the word Facebook Ads with 3 lines. If you click on that, there's an option over on the far right that says Audiences. So I'm going to click on Audiences. So here is another way that you can create an audience. So you can choose this drop-down menu, hit Custom Audience, and then do the same thing we just did. You're going to choose Customer File, you're going to copy and paste, and you're going to copy and paste. Now, what I really want to show you is that it has your lists over here. So say your database is here. If you put a checkbox to the left, this little box appears, and you can edit it. So by hitting the edit button, that's how you could add people in the future. So if you have more emails next quarter, or next month, or next year, and you want to add more people, instead of creating a whole new list, you could just go here, check off your current list, hit the edit button, and you can either add customers or you can remove customers. So I'm going to click on Add Customers, and then it's the same thing. You'll do copy and paste. You'll copy all of the email addresses and paste them and hit Next, and then you're going to have to do the data mapping where you say whether it's a phone number or an email, and then you're finished. Cool. Okay, so that database is really, really powerful. Hopefully that showed you that it wasn't difficult. It may have went over your head as you watched me live, but when you get the recording, just go along step by step and pause the video, and you'll get it done in under 5 minutes. Okay, so another audience I want to target is going to be investing, people who are investing in real estate. So I'm going to target my city. I'm going to change the age, the language. I'm going to exclude the real estate agents. And I've already typed it out for you. So I'm going to target people that are interested in real estate investors, real estate investments, creative real estate investing. There's also, so the TV shows, Flip This House, Flip or Flop, Fixer Upper, The Bottom Line, those are all books that are based on it. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, all of these employers, if a person says that their job title, job title would be property manager, assistant property manager, property investment consultant, landlord, real estate entrepreneur, all these people obviously have an interest in investing in real estate. So if you get a duplex or a triplex, they're called different things in different parts of the country. To me, a duplex is a single home, one roof, that has 2 separate kitchens, 2 separate living areas, and 2 separate, where you can live in one and rent out the other, or you could rent out 2 different units under one. So to me, that's a duplex. Any type of investment property, maybe you have just a single family home that would be really good for like a regular rental. It's just a single property. Say you get a brand new listing. These are the people that I want to target. Okay, so let me copy all of this. And we're targeting the city, age, language, agents. Okay. So I'm going to create a new ad targeting investors. I'm going to go to facebook.com/ads, create an ad. Okay, so I have to hit start over. In this example, it doesn't really matter what I choose. Because I would be taking a property listing and driving people to my website, I'm just going to choose traffic. I'll call it investing test. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. It's targeting all of Canada, so again, I'm going to say Oshawa. And I'm going to do, because this is an investment property, the people don't necessarily have to live in Oshawa, they just have to be in the area. So let me do like a 10-mile radius. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to do a 10-mile radius. They don't necessarily have to live in that area, so I'm just going to say everyone in that area, and we're at 310,000 people. Okay, so obviously not many 18-year-olds are investing in real estate, so I'm going to change that to be, say, 35. And our number changes to 180,000 people. Language, you could probably leave this one open, actually. I want to leave language open. Detailed targeting. Include people, and this is where I want to do copy. Right-click, paste. And it typed out people that are interested in these TV shows, people that watch these shows, read these books, follow these authors. Robert Kiyosaki is a big one. Rich Dad Education. And you literally just, if you want to add more, maybe you know one that I don't, you just type it in this box. So I would say type in real estate investor, and when I do that, it automatically pulls off a list. Oh, real estate investor as a job title. I gotta add that. I definitely want the job title. Real estate investors, people who are interested in it, sure. Real estate investing as an employer, maybe a couple people. Real estate investment trust, interested? No. I guess there's a real estate investment association. So you can, if you know others that I don't know of, you can just type them in and choose them. But just be very selective. You don't want to add everything. Okay, so by me adding all of those options as a filter, it removed it from 300,000 people down to 16,000 people. So if I have a brand new listing that's a duplex, a triplex, or some sort of investment property, then these are the type of people I want to target, not everybody in my city. If that's the case, you're going to want to scroll down and hit Save Audience, and then you're going to change this audience to be the name real estate investing, real estate investors, whatever you want to title it, and you'll hit Save. And then you would scroll down and do all the other stuff I've already done where I edit the placements and change the price. All that's pretty standard. Okay, so let's go and create the next audience. The next audience would be, say you get a property that is in really bad shape. It is a fixer-upper. I mean, it's a real dump. You got a power of sale and it's missing the back wall or something. So if you get a property like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to target all the people who are in that city. And, oh, you know what I didn't do on the last one is I didn't exclude the agents. So we'll do that on this one. But I am going to include people who are general contractors. They're interested in home renovation shows. Their job title. If their job title says that they're a general contractor, a plumber, a roofer, electrician, construction, all these people have the ability to actually fix and flip a property. They've got the skill set needed. So let's see how many people in Oshawa fit this mold. So I'm going to copy all of that. I want to go and do Facebook ads. I want to create an ad. I want to start from scratch. Okay, so this one was the fixer-upper. So same thing, I'll drive people to a listing. So I'll choose traffic. 123 Street. And hit continue. Okay, so starting from the top, this is a listing in my city, for example. So I'm going to choose Oshawa. Because this is a fixer-upper, again, they don't need to be directly in the city, so I'm going to set a radius around 10 miles. Seems pretty good. Age, they definitely got to be a little bit older. 35 again. Okay, so we're down to 180,000 people. So I'm going to scroll down, and detailed targeting, under Include, I'm going to right-click and paste. So we got it down to 23,000 people. Now, let's exclude the real estate agents, which is at the top of my list. I'm going to copy all that. Go back, hit exclude people, right click, paste. 7,000 people. There you go. So, I mean, if I have an investment property, I have a really high chance of people asking me questions, booking showings, maybe even buying the home. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? So that's what the whole goal is taking the whole Facebook world and narrowing it down to just the people that would be interested in that property. Okay, let's do another one. Facebook.com/ads. Okay, so the next one I want to do is going to be downsizing. Okay, so this is going to target people who are in my area. Baby boomers, by default, I didn't make this up, 51 plus. So don't be offended if I call you a baby boomer. Anyways, a lot of baby boomers are downsizing, and so I'm going to target the ones who are 51 and above. So let's target that. I want to create a new ad. So maybe you get a condo. It's a one-bedroom condo. Or maybe you get a listing that is in a retirement community. Well, you can target your entire city, or you can target the people most likely to move there. So I'll do engagement. Doesn't matter. Boomers. Okay, so if I have a new listing and it's in my city, I'm obviously going to change this to be all of Oshawa, and again, maybe I'll do a 7-mile radius. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? Yeah, no, I'll leave it as that. Okay, so 310,000 people. I want to change this age. I want to bump that up to 51 plus, because according to Wikipedia, a baby boomer starts at 51. Okay, so we got it down to 81,000 people. Now, that's fine. I could target all 81,000 people, or let's just see, by chance, how many of these people are engaged. I want to search engaged, and I'm going to choose relationship status, less than 1,000 people. Okay, also people who are single might need a one-bedroom home, so I'm going to do relationship status single. 6,000 people, a lot of single people in my area. Separated, because they don't need as big of a space, I guess. Relationship status. Added a couple hundred people. Divorced. Relationship status. 7,200 is 1,000 people, and then you could target widowed as well. In the States, don't forget, you guys can target homeowner. Where is it? In the States, you can target homeowner and likely to move. So if you want to narrow it down a little more, you could include those people. So there you go. If I had a property that was perfect for somebody who is downsizing, then this would be an awesome option for me to target these people. Okay, so we got the baby boomers, downsizing. Oh, and you may also want to exclude the real estate agents. So the same thing, scroll up to the top of the Word document, copy this, go back, and I'm going to hit exclude people. So what are we at, 7,200 people? There is a lot of people in real estate over 50. All right, so that just removed like 2,000, just under 2,000 people. So there you go. That's how I would target people who are downsizing, baby boomers, that sort of thing. Okay, so what's next? Oh, if you're hiring, this is easy. Okay, cool. So a lot of you guys are hiring people. So in this example, I'm going to target people who are in my city, who are 30 and above, and I'm going to this time include agents. So let me go back to my ad. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Okay, so if I was creating an ad that we are hiring, I would come into Facebook. I would target just my city, because if the person lives outside of the city that your office is in, what are the chances that they're going to want to drive? Some of you do, which is cool, but I mean, really, a Whippy agent is most likely going to be at a Whippy brokerage. An Oshawa agent, Oshawa brokerage. There are anomalies, but for the most part, let's just target the people who live in your city. So I've also want to change that age to be 30. You might even go younger, I guess, but I want to put it at 30. So we got 88,000 people. And then this time I'm going to click include. So I'm going to click in there, right click, paste. So it says there's 26,000 people in Oshawa that are interested in all of these things. The funny thing is that Oshawa only has like 1,100, 1,200 real estate agents, roughly. So that number is not accurate. What could be the big one is I have people interested in the brokerages, so like the different franchises. So if I remove here, let me remove this. Let me just remove all of what I typed in. So if you just type in real estate, if I type in real estate agent, it gives me real estate agent job title. So I'm going to choose that. Then I'm going to type it out again, real estate agent, and I'm going to look for all the job title ones, real estate agent broker. Real estate agent, scrolling down, job title, real estate sales agent. Realtor, as a job title. So slowly, one at a time, you have to type out all the different ways that a person would identify themselves as being a real estate agent. What really bumped that number up is the minute I added any of the franchises, because a lot of the consumers like the other franchises. So if I add a franchise in here, that number is going to jump up. But if I keep it solely to job titles, let me go back to the Word document and only copy the job title. So if I do this and this should bring it down. The number should not be 26,000 people. 24,000. Oh, it is because of the interest. Okay, hold on, let me do that again. I'm not going to target the employers. I'm going to target just job titles. and it's not pulling them all in for some reason. Anyways, if you take this Word document and type out each one of those, real estate broker, real estate sales agent, realtor agent, real estate agent broker, if you do one at a time, that will most likely get most of the agents that are in your area. By adding all this other stuff, just keep an eye on the numbers, and as soon as you see it jump up by tens of thousands, you probably added something that the consumers like the consumers like the franchises. So just be careful on that. Okay, so that's if I was targeting real estate agents to join my team. Now let's target people that are relocating. So it's kind of hard because how do you target a person who's relocating? You don't necessarily know. I mean, you could target all the people that, especially for the military. So let's do a couple options for this. So people in my area, 30 language, relocating. Okay, so I'm going to start from the top and I want to remove all this. Okay, so there's a couple ways of doing it. So if I choose, I'm going to choose Kingston. No, I want to choose Toronto because it'll give us higher numbers. Toronto, current city only. So here's a really neat trick, is you can target all the people. There's an option up here. You can target the people that are traveling to that area. So how many times have you gone on a trip and when you come home, you're like, oh man, I want to move there? Well, you can target the people that says, love Toronto, thinking of moving here, and you can target just the people that are on holidays and tourists. The other one is you can target people who were recently in that location. So in this example, I would say target people who are recently in this location. So anybody who just came from another part of the world into Toronto, it says 610,000. I don't know what the time frame is because it says recently. Does that mean yesterday, last week, last month? I don't know exactly the time frame. But you could create an ad just targeting people who are either been there, who just left, or are currently in town and traveling to that location. So that's two ways you can target relocation people. Another way is you can target based on detailed targeting. So two other examples of us targeting people relocating was anybody who was in military. So we put a laundry list of all of the military bases, and if they had any interest in anything to do with those bases or military, then we had a relocation ad running for that particular base that we worked near. So you could do that. That's one option. The other option was the schools. So we would run an ad. So if I say Durham College as a school. So if I click on Durham College as a school, Durham College is in Oshawa. I'm going to exclude everybody who's in Oshawa. I'm going to target everybody who's in Canada, and then I have to exclude Oshawa. So let me zoom out. See how Canada has this like blue line and it's shaded? That means anybody who's in Canada who likes Durham College will see my ad, but I'm excluding this big old radius right here. Because anybody who's in this radius either lives in their parents' basement or they're already living in the student housing or whatever. But anybody who's outside of that radius most likely has to relocate to our city. So I would run an ad targeting those kids, and it was a landing page. It talked about how we had a webinar that showed their parents how they can buy them a home, they can live in it for 5 years and rent it out, and whether they graduate or not, they'll get out ahead. So that's one way of targeting people who are relocating, is choosing all the schools. And then you can even pick off, like, there's a lot of people that are coming from the States. There, so I just found another 1,000 people roughly. So there you go. That's one way of targeting people who are relocating. You could exclude agents, but I wouldn't necessarily. Agent-to-agent referrals. Okay, so how would we do this? I would scroll up to the top. I would copy all of this, targeting the real estate agents. I would go here, and again, so I'm going to include everybody who's in my area. So I would pick either the state or the province that you're in. So for me, I'm going to say Ontario. So I'm going to target everybody who's in Ontario, and I'm going to exclude everyone around Oshawa. And that seems pretty, I would even do a bigger radius. I'm going to do 30 mile. I mean, any agent outside of this area, if they're willing to drive all the way to Oshawa to do a deal, I mean, I guess it makes sense for some of them, but anyways, what I want to do is I'm targeting, why is that? Oh, I got to remove Durham College. Okay, so we got 2 million people. So there's 2 million people in Ontario, not including whoever's in this pocket right here. I am also going to include the real estate agents. So I'm going to click and paste. So there definitely is not 670,000 real estate agents. That number is inflated probably because of one of these things. Like I bet one of the franchises that I have listed have really upped that number. But if you go one at a time typing in all the job titles, you'll probably get it to the accurate number of how many people are on your board. And so there, I could run an ad targeting all the people about, I'm targeting agents specifically to send me their referrals. So I could talk about, maybe I have a video. I would do a video view ad that talks about referrals in the Oshawa area and that I'm your guy and that I do a 30% referral, blah, blah, blah. So you could create a video specifically targeting these people. And I think a lot of you on this call could definitely leverage that. And it's really cheap. Not a lot of people would be doing that type of targeting. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. There might be one last one. If there's any questions, go ahead and type it. Nope, that was it. Okay, so that was the last one. So those are all the different ways that you can target people on Facebook using the audience marketing. And my goal today was to mostly show you how to do the filtering of creating the audience, not necessarily creating the ad. Each ad that you create is going to be dependent on what's the message, where are you driving them to, and who are you targeting. That is a whole nother session that if I had to create an ad for 15 different ad sets, we'd be here for another 3 hours. So hopefully you can pick and choose a couple of these audiences and use them for your own business. I want to stick on the line if there's any questions, but for the rest of you, you guys are free to go. I'll get the upload posted, and when I do, I will also give you the Word document so that you don't have to type everything out and you can just copy and paste. So I appreciate you guys being with me. Thank you.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!